Righto, guys. Welcome back to another week of the CodTales podcast. I'm Az.
And I'm Dane.
And on this week's episode, it's a bit of a bonus one for the festive season. Christmas is here.
Jingle, jingle.
We're all about to have a few beers and catch up with the family and friends. But while we thought of it, we sat down and go, let's go talk some fishing stories. So why not?
Yep, we had a couple of good weeks. Well, our last good week about fishing. A couple of stories there, and also a couple of funnies that got sent into us.
Some crackers once again.
Losing lures, catching big fish, and taking poos where you probably shouldn't.
And how about the Cod Thumb coming through?
Oh, mate, my hand is still stinging.
Gotta love December.
So, on top of that, we also get to talk about some mental health stats around fishing, and we end up talking about our legend Rex Hunt.
That's right, Dane. Yibbita, yibbita. The Australian icon.
Australian icon of fishing. So, let's get into it.
Merry Christmas!
Welcome back to another week of the CodTales podcast. I'm Az.
And I'm Dane.
And we're sitting here having a few tins, and we thought, why not turn on the mics and have a bit of a Christmas special festive season, school holidays, got a biting.
Oh, how good is it? Yeah, we weren't even going to do an episode today.
No.
We came in, we did a donation today to Are You OK? So there goes another $1,000 dues from us. Thank everyone for the lure auctions, mental health lure auctions. It's been fantastic. We're going to do that and do a bit of admin before Christmas. But Aaron came in with such excitement and fucking energy.
Yeah, it was like, turn the mics on now. I've got some shit to talk about. So I'm on a bit of a high, so get ready for some ear slapping stories again. I guarantee they're going to float in my mouth quicker than the beer's flowing down it.
And I'll tell you what, you would definitely hear a few during the fucking episode. I almost guarantee that.
It's Christmas. Let's go. So
bloody oath. Yep. So this will be our Christmas special. Last episode. So you can already tell I'm into the beers. Last episode before Christmas. We probably won't do one until next year now.
Yeah.
After this,
might have a probably a 2 or 3 week break, which will be that period.
Yeah, that's right. So enjoy it. I hope everyone gets out, gets casting, gets a few good fish.
Get some stories to send in.
Don't forget to send in the stories. We've had some crackers sent in lately, which you will hear a bit later.
Yeah, we've got a couple to read out.
So, mate, I've had a pretty good last week. Since Friday. Yeah. Since our last episode came out, I went fishing twice already, which is very nice, thank you.
Yeah, if you did listen to last week's episode, it was 14 days into December, and Dane had not wet a line.
Yeah, and then directly after that episode, I went pretty much twice in 3 days.
Exactly.
Which is fantastic. I got up super early the next morning, the day the podcast was released, put the tenny on top of the ute, got up at 4 a.m, and I went and got some good cod.
Mm-hmm.
Had to travel a long way, I'll tell you that. Holy moly. Got the boat in the water, and I think I had to go upstream probably 3 or 4 Ks before I even got a touch.
Yuck.
Yeah, no, it was proper. I got in there, got out at 4, got on the water about 5:30, something like that. Went upstream. There were some nice logs that I've been wanting to target for a while up in that little area. Nothing off them. Fucking nothing. Not a bump.
Burns your piss when that happens.
Yeah, and it wasn't until I mowed it all the way up, and I was almost at the bottom of my own property before I started catching fish. I might as well just launched off the bottom of that.
Yeah.
But no, I was chuffed about it. First fish for the season is 76, so let's go on the slickback. Yeah, slickback. Beautiful.
So here I am working my ass off, and I've caught a lot of fish in the last 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
Like, proper give them hell. I come out of the barricades flying. Like, you would have put money on me against Winks. I was going that good. And no shit. I've got 2 74s and a 75, and Dane comes out first fish out of the barrel. 76.
Look.
I reckon he stretched it.
No, surely not. No, I actually shortened it a bit. The first photo and measurement I got 77. I went, No, it doesn't look right. Better do that again. 76. Fuck, that'll do. Oh, there's the first crack.
There's the first to take on. Sorry, boys.
But yeah, after I got to that little spot, 76, and I got a 60, mid 60, and then a little 50 something. Like the river at the moment is up a lot, so I've had to change my tactics a little bit.
Yeah, we got a big bit of rush of water. So
Yeah, for
our
sure.
rivers actually, we were fishing. The first week I went out, I was roughly in about 12 to 1400 megs.
Yeah.
This week we were,
2,800. Today is 2,800 going through town.
and it's dropping. We were
Yeah.
up to 4,000.
Nuts, absolutely nuts. My little 6 horse on the back of my tenny, he doesn't like this big flow.
I bet you don't.
No, I bought it just like specifically for shallow water. You know, I have to drag it through a few bloody currents and rapids and that sort of stuff. Nah, I don't need to do that. But well, yeah, no, it was good. Good on the Friday. Got the 76, which I think is beating you this year so far. Which
It is,
nice.
mate. It is.
Rub it in a little
There's
bit.
8 months and 1 week left, and I'm gonna smoke it.
Oh yeah, I have no doubt in my mind you're going to come back and smoke me.
You
But-
never know. It's cod
Never
fishing.
know. It's cod fishing. But we took our own little journey on Sunday, didn't we?
Yeah, that was a pretty inspirational one. We were just like, fuck, let's go. Let's hook
Yeah.
the boat up and go.
Yeah, he called me this Sunday. I mentioned, you want to go for a bit of a boat over the weekend, and didn't really hear from him Saturday. I think he was a little bit, how to put this,
Dusty. I was
a little
very
bit dusty. Well, I got a Snapchat off him on Friday night, very early in the morning, and I had my Christmas party that day as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, righto, let's play up. Didn't hear from him.
Yeah, no,
Not
mate.
Friday night.
Like if I went to my grandmother's house, she would have been chasing me around with a duster. Like that's how dusty I was.
And then all of Saturday, sent him Snapchats, few messages, that sort of stuff. Still didn't get an answer. It's like, bloody hell, he must be right off it.
Yeah, I spent, I reckon, a good 80% of the time in bed asleep.
Yeah, and then Sunday morning, wake up, get a call from Aaron. Hey, mate, 3 o'clock, let's go. Right up, let's hit it, which is real good. So there's quite a few people out. Quite a
Yeah,
few
there
people
was, wasn't
out.
there?
Probably saw
Yeah.
3 or 4 boats down our little stretch that we hit.
And this is how high the river is at the moment. So where me and Dane started fishing is normally where we finish
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the stretch of river. So
that's right.
It was quite good. We had a great little stretch, and I remember getting the old 25 up and popping her up on the plane, and we nearly planed the whole way back
Yeah,
through all the shallow
beautiful.
shit.
Yeah, it was a good, meter and a half higher than usual.
Yeah,
Roughly. In some of the skinnier bits, maybe only 800, but the pools were definitely that sort of meter and a half deeper,
yeah.
which is good.
And it was good to see. There were plenty of people fishing on the banks. Like
Yeah.
would have passed probably 4 or 5 groups fishing on the bank.
Yeah.
We had kayakers. We had a boat, another boat.
Yep.
Which they also got a PB too. You said,
Yeah. No, Jacob
Yeah.
Charles, he got a PB of 75 while he was down there when he saw us,
Yep.
which is pretty good on him. Good on you, mate.
But now, in this trip, I've told man, I said we're going to catch one more fish on a hard body, which is what we love doing.
Yep. Yeah,
And we're
this
gonna-
is mid to late arvo.
We're going to switch to swim baits and see if we can get a big bite.
Yeah, bloody oath. And didn't I get a big fucking bite?
Yeah, mate, straight away. It was like second or third cast. Yep.
Yep. Second or third cast, chucked in his log, and I was chucking a little 130 bone focus. One of my favourite little swim baits. And the swim bait, you got your 117 on, so they can't be poo-pooed too much, not sniffed at. But chucked it in, got a little sharp whack, and I was like, oh, yep, got something. No fight in it or nothing, just felt weight, and I was like, what the
Yeah.
fuck is this? Reeled it in, what did I get? Yellow belly.
Yellow belly on a swim bait. Like, I reckon I could count on one hand how many times I've done that in my life, fishing swim baits in the river.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
you do that. And then what happens after that?
Well, not to mention this yellow belly probably wasn't even 30 centimetres.
No, it was tiny.
And it cracked a 130 mil swim bait.
Yep.
Well, we go up probably another couple hundred metres. What happens again? Yep, got him. Again, filled dead weight. Guess what it is again? Bloody yellow belly. About the same fucking size. At this point, I think I'm cursed with swim baits in the river.
It honestly gets better because the next fish is fucking take the cake.
Yeah, right. So we head up another river arm, Taubrigar, and it's got a little bit of water in it, not much. And as soon as we get in there, we see nothing but fish just swimming around in the shallows. We're like, oh, give it a crack. Loaded. Anyway, chuck focus in there. After about 5 minutes, crack. Went, hey, this is a little bit better. Starts cutting water and went, that's not a yeller and that's not a cod. What the hell is this thing? What do I pull up? Stinking old carp.
And mind you, this carp had the treble in its mouth. Like it tried to eat this.
Proper.
And it would have only been, 40, 45 centimetre carp?
Yeah,
it wasn't a big
like
carp.
That. Wasn't huge carp. About that sort of size. And we're just both looking at each other. Aaron just gets out his phone and starts filming me. Look at this dickhead, he's going to catch a carp.
I've never seen a carp on a swim bait in the river, ever.
No, neither. I've got a few on grubs.
Yeah.
Like little 3-inch soft plastics, that sort of stuff.
I've caught a carp on a 100 mil orgy in the river.
Really?
Yeah, and ate it. And ate it off the surface.
What the fuck?
Threw in behind a log, and it was a big, like you would get in a bullfrog.
Yeah, you think it was a cod.
And yeah, she was a carp on a 100 mil orgy.
That's just messed up. So obviously these carp are just starting to evolve and take different baits and lures. Like I remember going back a couple of years, carp, it was worms, corn, bread, maybe the odd yabby. But now we're even catching them on cheese and chicken, which we were using to filter out the carp.
Yeah.
So they're learning. They're getting more advanced. So I don't know what the next step is to try and not catch the bloody things.
Yeah.
Because if they're taking swim baits, chicken and cheese now,
yeah, you get that.
There's not a lot of hope.
Yeah, I actually even got a 74 with you that day. I still couldn't fucking outdo you.
Yeah, you did. You did. That was the last fish of the day that you got on the hard body before we slipped over to the swim baits.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice big 74 on Joe Smith's.
Yeah, one of Joe's.
Custom lure.
He painted up one. He's only just started making them.
Oh, and it is unreal. Joe, I want one. Tell me how much.
It's probably one of the best crash divers I've ever seen.
Yeah, this thing, it's like you peg it out, and when you just let it sit, the only thing that sits out of the water is like the tail and the tail hook.
Yeah, it's definitely head first, like 90 degrees.
Yeah, it's 90 degrees down. So as soon as you start cranking, that thing just goes straight down. It is brilliant. I love it. And that colour, bright green with a bit of red on it.
And
beautiful.
The first fish I actually seen near that lure was the one very early in the day that I missed, and I cranked it down beside this little like shrubby twig, and the fish flashed over the top of it. It dove too quick. Remember that? And I was like, holy shit, I just seen a fish roll over the top of my lure, and he did not touch me one little bit.
Yeah.
But
fish wasn't prepared to get crash dive like that.
No. He's not educated, that fella. I love crash divers, so do cod, so why didn't he eat it?
Yeah, wait for it to come to you, not the other way around, mate. But yeah, we've had a pretty good little run.
Yep.
Did you get a cod on a swim bait? I can't remember.
No, I only missed one.
That's
missed
right.
one three times.
You missed one on, and I got the 2 yellows and a bloody carp on a swim bait, so I wasn't real chuffed about that.
Yeah, you do grind it out, but when you time it right in the river with swim baits, it is sensational.
Oh, it is so good. But along with our cod fishing, just a little quick mention, Cod Thumb.
Oh, puppy.
Mate,
wow.
My thumb is caning right now. Like, I'm a bit silly, and I kind of think about Cod Thumb as a
trophy.
A bit of a trophy.
Battle wound.
Yeah, battle wound. It's kind of like one of those things that if you're walking around town and you see a guy with a torn up thumb and you can quite clearly see that it's cod teeth, you're like, hey, he must be all right. Good fella.
He's a bad motherfucker.
It's not the fact that we're silly and we don't take lip grips.
Yeah, we got lip grips, but you're like, let's go. Just send it. Like the 74 I got with you. How much blood pissed out of the back of my thumb?
Yeah.
This green thing you call a cod. He rolled on my thumb that bad, and as I've realised I'm in a lot of hurt. I've grabbed the back of my thumb and their blood just pissing out the back and dripping off the end. I was like,
Oh,
you
it was
got me.
funny.
That's probably one of the best cod thumbs I've had in ages.
Yeah, that first one I got that session as well with the 69. I grabbed him straight up. And I reckon you can tell how old a cod is just by how sharp those little needles are.
Yep.
Man, that's 69 centimetre I caught. He'd have to be young. I reckon he is like sprouted up so quick that he has not eaten enough stuff.
Eated.
He ain't eaten enough stuff to grind down those plates yet, because when I grabbed him, my thumb is still messed up.
Yeah.
Proper.
I hate when you grab them and you actually feel them go into your finger and you're like, fuck, don't roll now.
Yep. Well, that's what he did, and he rolled like a champion, proper. And the whole time, the rest of the day, I'm putting blood into me reel, putting blood down the side of it on me rod. I'm like, oh, this is fucked.
Actually,
But
speak of that.
we still do it.
I took me rod into work today to show a bloke on how I tie an FG knot.
Yeah.
And it was really funny because I picked the rod up and he's like, there's blood all over
it.
And I was like, oh, that's me. Like, I said, I got cod thumb and it's all over. And he's like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Do I really want to go catch these fish?
Bloody hope you do.
Yeah, line up, mate. Once you catch one, you're done.
Yeah, and there's one thing that you've said to me before, that you go, when you catch your first meatery, do not use a towel, don't use your shirt, don't use lip grips, because you want to remember that fish for the rest of your life.
Yeah, the first one, mate. Like, after that, who gives a fuck? You want to look after your hand. But that first one, mate, I remember the first one I got he was 1.2 meters.
Yeah.
And, oh, my God, I remember getting the lure out with me hand down his throat. He had scars up the back of my wrist, like, and I remember going to work. Oh, guess what I did? And you're showing all these teeth marks off, and it's just I'll never forget it. Like,
That's right.
Oh, the pain, you don't forget that bit either. But
and how strong they are when they clamp their jaws down on you.
yeah, if you
when
get
they're
one,
stuck in big.
I reckon, I swear to God, they can get lockjaw like a dog.
Yeah?
Oh, mate, have you ever had one just...
Not.
It doesn't even have to be big. If you get one where he flares his gills out and bites, you cannot prise it open.
Yep, I've had that before. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'd hate a big fella to do that to me. That'd be... whoa. But in saying that, like Rod McKenzie,
Yeah.
Cod Mac, I love how you mentioned Cod Thumb to him. Like when I was talking to him at the trade show back at the start of the year, we're talking a bit about cod, and he showed me his hand, and he was like, I went fishing like literally 2 days before the trade show, and he got this cod. Now, mate, he had fucking marks up the back of his hand, and I'm like, oh, geez, that's a good cod thumb. He's like, cod thumb starts with cod hand with me, and I just well played.
The size of his fish, mate, it's not thumb anymore.
Yeah, all he said to me was like, mate, it starts with cod hand. When you get cod arm, that's when you worry.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I can imagine the size of some of the fish he's seen and how much damage he's done to his hands trying to pick them up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, even the other day with that 74 with you, you had him on the brag mat and he flipped up and spiked you in your thumb at the after
he was giving me hell, that fish.
Oh, jeez, that made me laugh.
Even the fight, he was a real dirty fighter too.
He was a dirty fighter, yeah.
Yeah, it was. One of those ones that you go, oh, mate, this might be a proper one.
Yeah, no, it was a good fish. So that's been our last week of fishing and Cod Thumb, but I think just to put a bit of a sour taste on the note of us fishing the last week, the reoccurrence of droppers, set lines, and fish traps just in this little river that we've been fishing is getting me fucking cranky.
Yeah, it is bullshit.
Real cranky.
Like, yes, there's a bit of like money getting put on this, but it's for a good cause. It's not to rape and pillage.
Yeah. So just in our trip on Sunday, we travelled down from our little spot and straight away we see this dropper, and I don't know who the fuck set this up, and congratulations, mate, you're the dumbest fucking dropper setter I've ever seen. We saw this pine tree along one of the main stretches, probably only a couple 100 metres down from the drop-off point, and this cunt had tied a dropper 2 to 3 meters onto a pine tree up in the air
Yeah.
and dropped it in the water in a current. And it was just like, what? I mean, some of you try and hide it a little bit.
Yeah, that's
This cunt obviously did not give a stuff
nah.
if anyone found it or not.
Mate, yeah. Like I was speaking before, there's always people like that. It's just education that's got to get to them. But like, for instance, on the Sunday before we went fishing,
This is right, yeah.
the missus wanted to take the dogs for a swim, and I wanted to swim as well. So we packed the dogs up and went to the river. And, like, mate, we only went to a local reserve that's within 10 k's from town.
Yeah.
And just the main area, dogs have started swimming. All of a sudden, one comes up with line around his leg, and I go, oh, shit. So we untangle it. All of a sudden, it's connected to the stick beside me. It's got a hook and sinker on it.
Fuck.
I was like, yeah, righto, there's number 2. And, yeah, I was like, shit, we'll get it out. So I ended up biting it off and just wrapping the hook and sinker up.
Yeah.
And no word of a lie, as I'm doing that, the missus has got another dog with line tangled around it. And I'm like, holy shit, sort that one out. Then I go in for a swim and I get one around my legs. I pick it up and it's tied to a camp chair sunken under the water.
What the fuck?
And, like, it was fresh because they had bait.
Oh, they had, what they have? Let me guess. Yabbies.
I honestly couldn't even tell what it was. It honestly looked like green prawns. Like it was like, yeah.
Really?
Way too big for a shrimp, but yeah, anyway.
Okay. Yeah, righto.
Yeah, thrown that. So that was the third one, literally within a 2-minute span.
Yeah.
And there was a little bit of a run that probably went 20 metres to the left of us. And the missus always runs away from the dogs and the dogs chase her and whatnot.
Yeah.
She jump in the water and they swim out. Well, she's ran up this little thing and gone jumped in the water. And the dogs have flown up. Well, then two dogs got caught again, one on each line. So I've had to go up and help them get out of that. So we found 2 more, and as we were untangling them, she found another one tied up to a tree. So
what the hell?
Literally.
So like 200 metres, less than 200 metres?
oh, mate, within 15 metres, within
each other?
15 metres on the bank, there was 5.
That's messed up. Especially at a reserve that you're going to go with your kids, with your dog, go for a swim.
Yeah, like, fucking use your common sense, mate.
Fuck. I mean, don't do it at all is your common fucking sense.
Yeah,
But
that's right.
it's like, how disrespectful have you got to be to everyone else and to the environment that you're setting? And there's probably more there too that you didn't bloody find.
Oh, that's right. They're just the ones I find. And, like, they were hidden pretty well.
They were sunken into the bank.
Oh, well and truly.
Under
Yeah,
the
there was
water?
roots that were 6 inches under that they were tied to. Like,
Right.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
obviously he knows he's trying to hide them. He knows it's wrong.
yeah.
He's put it somewhere. Like, imagine if you'd gone down there with the dogs. The dog ran through it, didn't realise, kept running, and as he's running, he's pulling up it, and then the hook goes straight into your dog.
Exactly right.
I would see red.
But even worse, mate, like, imagine a 4 or 5-year-old kid walking in water and getting that.
Yeah, that's right. Like, okay, you're never going to knock it out of society. There's always going to be a few that go out there, do set lines, do droppers, put fish
Yeah.
traps in, all the rest. But hey, maybe don't do it at a popular reserve where people go swimming and right off the bank.
That's right. And if I ever catch a fucking run.
Yeah, fuck. And just going on from there, not to mention on our last trip on Sunday, we saw a couple of droppers, like half a dozen maybe,
Seen a drum net.
and we saw a drum net.
Yep.
Now, luckily, this drum net had been pulled out and put up on the shore. I don't know if it had been dismantled or anything, but you could quite clearly see there was turtle shells all through the bottom of it.
Yeah. And
What the hell? Obviously, he's not checking it.
No, that's right. And this is a good lesson to anyone listening that actually comes across any of this.
Yeah.
Pretty much, this is from the fisheries. They don't want you to touch it. They don't want you to get it out
Nope.
of the water because in any circumstance, you touch that and they see you touch it, it belongs to you.
That's right.
So leave it alone, ring them, tell them the location, and just step away.
Let them do it. It's no good. Don't go in there with a knife and grab it and cut it with a knife because you don't know. There could be a fisheries officer sitting on the bank
Watching who is checking them.
watching who's checking them because they're out there trying to catch them. So it's better off reporting into them, going, hey, call them up. Hey, mate, saw this on the river along this spot. You might want to go check out there. Mm-hmm. That's when they're going to go target that area because they know that they're out there.
Okay, and I've actually got a really funny story that I'm going to throw in here.
Go on, let's
Real
go.
funny. This is going back when I was a kid. So we're going 10, 15 years ago, right? I remember it was an Easter weekend and there was a bloke setting droppers. It was the fucking funniest thing I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
My Uncle Russell found a car rim on the bank. So what we did is we grabbed this dropper, and like this dropper's only 1.5 meters, 2 meters long.
Yeah.
And there was a log directly under it. So what we did is we put this dropper line through the rim of
Yeah.
the holes and whatnot, hooked it back up, and we sat it on this log just under, probably 1 meter down. And my Uncle Russell's grabbed it, and as he's pulled it, the side of obviously the rim is turned on its side and it caught the fucking
current. Yeah.
and it just took off out of his hand. He said, "This is going to be gold."
It's perfect.
And we reset the bait, and we watched this fella buzz up and down the river for a couple of days. Like we knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
And so we're like, he normally comes around, say it was 5:30 or whatnot.
Yeah.
We went and sat on the other side of the river. We come down and casual as, didn't care we were there, and just gone, grabbed the dropper line, and as he's pulled it, it's got ripped out of his hand. And all he's turned around to his mate with this whitest ghost face was, "Get the gaff." So old mate's gone down, he's grabbed her again. It was obviously a bit easier the second time,
Yeah.
but he's pulled her up, and mate, they didn't say a fucking word. It was complete silence. They both looked at each other, took the rim off, put bait on, went on their merry way. I was like, for the 5 seconds that was worth watching, they didn't give a shit.
Oh, man.
Like that was, yeah, obviously droppers were frowned upon back then too, but it was a lot more common.
Yeah, like even now, the more you start going out west, and I've seen it a lot, like even our condo and that sort of stuff, go fishing out there. There's people, they're setting droppers, they're rolling around. You can tell they're doing it. Every couple of hours, they're running up, running back down.
Yeah.
And you find them everywhere. And you're not going to stop it. It's always going to be there. But hopefully with a bit more education, a bit more information out there, people go and start rethinking it.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah. Well, that's enough of that. We've drilled on about that enough, I reckon.
Oh, yeah.
But what else we got, mate? We got a couple of funnies sent in this week, haven't we?
We did.
Yeah. You want to start us off with old Nick's funny?
So this is very fresh. Nick told me this like literally 2 hours ago. So Nick and one of his mates, they've decided to go fishing in the river. And during this trip, his mate's thrown a gania up in a tree that was out of reach, probably 2.5, 3 metres above. He quoted 4 metres.
He's
So it's a fucking wild cast.
He's done a proper bomb cast right into this tree.
So here's a gania, a $70 lure up in a tree. And they thought, shit, we got a lure retrieving pole, we'll send her up.
Easy
Well,
done.
We ended her up and hooked her on the lure, and as they went to pull it, the top section of the lure retrieving pole came out. So he's now looking at a gania and a lure retrieving pole stuck up in a tree. So they've gone, we're out of ammunition. We need to come back tomorrow.
Yep.
So what they did is they packed up, went home, come back next day, flown straight back up to the same spot they'd got this. It's all still there. No one had touched it. Nick's gone, right, what are we going to do? We got a rope, a pair of pliers, and a fishing rod.
Yep.
His first option was to cast his lure at it. So he did. Bang on the money, hit the
Got
other
him.
lure, hooked in. As he went to pull it, he snapped his line. So now there's an Aussie plough, a
Again.
gania, and a lure retrieving pole stuck in this tree. So the boys get down their last option is a pair of pliers and a bit of rope to throw over the branch and try and break it. Well, Nick's gone, make sure we don't let the pliers hit the floor of the boat because it may
That's
go
right.
through.
You don't want to damage your boat or anything. Yeah.
So, long story short, they've launched this rope over with a pair of long nose pliers attached to it, over the branch. It's come back down. Nick stuck his hand out
To try and catch him.
to try and stop it at the boat. The pliers were open, and he's got two awfully good-looking holes in his hand.
So they've lost two lures, a lure retriever pole, and Nick's got holes in his hand from his adventure.
Oh, dear, it's good.
So did they end up getting them out?
Yeah, they did. They ended up breaking the branch with the rope. But I just thought, fuck me, that's a domino effect of bad luck.
2-day ordeal of getting a single lure out.
Yeah. I can understand getting a $70 swim bait back, but then when you start throwing a pole and an orgy, that's an expensive trip.
Oh, mate. We've got another story written in from Jordan Thornycroft, and he's written in, "G'day, lads. Being a small business owner with a young family, I struggle to get out fishing as much as I'd want, and I'm loving listening to the podcast. Bit of a long line for you, but I thought I'd share the story of my first ever cod 7 odd years ago. First ever cod, that's pretty cracker. So keeping to the Christmas theme, he said, we had a Christmas party up at Gingellic on the Murray River and stayed at the pub. We had 3 boats out with my wife, and we were in my little Savage tinny, not having a clue what we were doing. We'd been fishing all morning and not even a nudge. We pulled up under a willow tree, tied off, dropped the rods in, cranked the radio up, and had a few more beers. Naturally. They almost forgot about the rods they'd put in after chilling out, having a few beers, listening to the radio. All of a sudden, his rod buckled over. After grabbing the rod, there wasn't much movement and it just felt like a huge snag. After 2 or 3 minutes of me trying to rip up what I thought was a snag out of the water, I said to the missus, just pass me the knife. I can't get it off this bloody snag. As I leant down and grabbed the knife off her, I must have released some tension on the line, so I wound it up a little, leant out to cut the line, but all of a sudden this monster tail poked its head out of the water. I quickly ditched the knife and started dealing with it again. I got the fish close to the boat and snap! My rod gave up and snapped in two. So here I am, the wife screaming at me, the rod snapped in half, the fish of my life is on the end of it. Somehow I managed to get the big girl on the boat, measured 113 centimetres. 113 for a first fish.
What a bopper.
That's nuts, mate. That is cracker. He said a couple of very quick photos, and poor photos, might I add. We put her back in the water and watched her swim away. After we calmed down, we realised we were only in about a metre of water. Anyway, you can see in the photo the snap rods and the too many beers. It's been a lifelong memory.
Oh, mate. Oh,
Mate.
Wow. What an experience.
That is a Christmas miracle in my books. A metre 13, first fish around Christmas. Christmas miracles, ticks all the boxes for me.
Yeah. I feel sorry for his missus, to be quite honest, because I know for sure if that was the way I caught my first fish, and being a meatery, mate, I would have just blew my next 12 months paycheck straight in the next tackle shop. Oh, my God.
Yeah, no, you worked it out, mate. You got the bite.
No,
Bloody
congratulations, mate. That's a cracking
mate,
fish, and thanks for writing it in.
Yeah, thanks for writing in. And just remember, if you do want to write in, codtalespodcast@gmail.com. Send us all your funny stories that you want to get read out by us two idiots.
Or if you don't like dealing with emails, you can always inbox them to the Facey page.
Yeah, that's
Instagram,
right.
you name it.
Yeah, whatever. We even got the YouTube up and cracking now. Send us a comment on that.
Yeah, Dane's been working his little ass off with this.
Yeah, I have. I'm trying to keep all the podcasts up to date. So if you haven't got Spotify and you can't be asked to do it, go on YouTube.
Yeah.
All of them are up there. We've got the live Q&A up as well. So if you missed that from Cod Opening, we got him up.
So you can watch that, rewatch it. So,
Yeah.
like I do a lot of the video and social media side of things, and Dane's he's the brainmeister of technicians. And we had this idea of, you know what, fuck, it costs nothing to put it up on YouTube either. Let's
that's
do
right.
it.
Yeah.
Well, he's gone ham. The last week, I reckon he's got, what, he got every episode up now?
Yep. All 14 episodes, and I'll have to do this one tonight.
So he's become a bit of a whiz.
Oh, a little bit. And I try and keep myself busy at home, you know, do some good stuff.
The more he tips back, the more he puts up.
Pretty much, you know, get bored of a night time, have a few beers. Nah, stuff it, I'll do a bit more.
Yeah, good shit, mate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think, well, we've definitely got a few videos of our Marlin trip we were probably going to put up as well.
Yeah, well-
so stay tuned for that one.
Yeah, we'll get it up and running. I've got a bit of footage on the GoPro as well, so we're going to marry that in and make a bit of a video and
Yep.
see how busted Dane got. And
Mate, I don't want to talk about it, to be honest. I just want to say next time, before I go marlin fishing next time, I've definitely started a workout routine now. 3 times a week, I'm just starting to lift a few more weights.
oh yeah, yeah, no, it's good fun.
Yeah, so I got one more little Christmas fishing story, which it's not really about Christmas. It just happened around Christmas time.
Yeah, yep.
So me and Big Des, old Darren,
Oh dear.
we went out. Yeah, if it starts with Des, you know it's going to be a good story. So we went out fishing in the kayaks. We used to do this all the time. We'd drop my ute off in one place. He'd have the work van or his ute. We'd get the kayaks on it, start at the other place, and drift down.
Yep.
So we're doing between 2 fairly good places in Dubbo, and it was like an 8-hour trip. So we started bright as early, like 5 o'clock in the morning, something like that. We started drifting down, catching a few good fish. And this is the actual trip that Desi caught a 90, I think it was like a 94 cod.
Oh, is this the one on the spinnerbait?
Yep.
Yuck.
Yep. So short story about that before I get to the good bit. Desi was casting spinner baits around all day. We come across this big rock wall. He's casting spinner baits against it. Throws it out. He gets a bird's nest. It stops dead. Spinnerbait snaps off. Goes in the water. He goes, God damn it. So he's there dealing with the bird's nest. He's retying a new spinnerbait, checking all these lines and everything. Anyway, I've drifted down a couple of 100 metres and I'm fishing this log under these willows. Absolutely peppering it. Spinnerbaits, a couple of orgies. I know there's a good fish there. Cannot get it to budge. Anyway, I drift down a bit further to like a little sandbank and willows on the other side. Anyway, Des has tied on a new spinnerbait. He's come down to the exact same log and willows and he's cracked this 94. So I'm actually, he's called me up. Mate, come help me out. He's in a kayak. He's got this big fish off the side of it. He's holding it in the kayak. I can't paddle. So here I am grabbing his kayak and paddling with one hand to get down to this sandbar to get a few photos of this good fish. Anyway, after all that excitement, we're still paddling down. And I get the call of nature, don't I? Number 2 rears its head. So I'm like, bugger it, you know, water's nice and warm. I'll get out and I'll do a bit of a aqua splashdown.
Chupapi.
So here I am sitting in front next to this willow tree, holding onto this willow tree, backed up, trying to back one out, in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. So got property either side. We're probably, 4 or 5 Ks from any normal public reserve. Farmer comes over with his quad bike over the hill, doesn't he? Come down to the water to have a fish. So all he can see, farmer on a quad bike coming over the hill, all he can see is my big white ass sitting out of the water trying to back one out. You think that'd put him off? No way did it put him off. He kept coming down, barreling down the hill on his quad bike, dog on the back. I quickly hurry up, do a bit of a splashdown, fucking wipe him off, get back in the kayak. Hey, mate, how you going? Didn't say a word.
Proper silence.
Did not say a word to me. I got my kayak and I shot downstream real quick after that.
Fuck. Wow.
Oh, it's funny.
You might have been thinking, oh shit, I've got a fish with the moon phase right now. There's a big white one here. Fish the shade.
Yeah, mate. Full moon's out tonight.
Better check the barometer.
Yeah.
1,020 fish are plenty.
Actually, another really surprising thing that we found along that trip, which I just remembered, was fruit bats. So middle of the day, what are fruit bats doing? Sleeping.
Yeah.
There was hundreds of them, maybe even thousands of them.
Here in Dubbo.
Yeah, littered
Wow.
in the willows, sleeping in the willows.
Whoa, yeah, right.
Yeah, we came across this stretch of willows, a couple 100 meters long, and every single one of them had as many fruit bats as you could imagine in there.
Holy shit.
And we're paddling along, and Des just goes, bang! Scares the crap out of him, and they fucking freak out.
Yeah, right. Fuck, I would have been calling Ace Ventura. Like, is this normal, bro?
Yeah, no, I've never seen that before, and I've never seen it again along the river. But there was
Wow.
hundreds and hundreds of fruit bats in these trees.
Yeah, that's next level, isn't it? I've only ever seen fruit bats on the coast, eh? Like, I've never seen them out here.
You haven't seen them out here?
Nah.
Mate, you need to go out at night a bit more. And
I've
stop.
seen fruit and I've seen bats, but I've never seen a fruit bat. Yeah, nah, I've definitely never seen them out here.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah, shit,
okay.
yeah.
So another thing, we also had someone write in on Facebook, and being that time of year, a lot of people are getting out and doing a bit of bait fishing. Mm-hmm. It's not something we do a great deal of. We have done a great deal of it. We don't do a great deal anymore. Maybe if you're camped up on the bank doing a camp session, chuck some bait
tipping
rods
tins
out.
back, fucking more and more, soak a bit of bait.
Or if it's like middle of the day, we might camp up in the shade under a tree and chuck a few bait rods out, that sort of stuff. Or even if lures aren't working, we'll go back to bait for sure.
Yeah, as much as it's not like we hate it. And it's not like
don't
we're
hate
against it. But
I definitely love it. Don't get me wrong. I've got some good fish off bait.
yeah,
Real
I
good
know.
fish off
Hey,
bait.
it does work. Oh dear. Yeah. I do love it. I love it when you're on the piss and you're talking to the boys and
Yeah, that's right.
yeah.
Soaking bait, listen to some tunes, just like Jordan Thornycroft was doing.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sit back, relax, enjoy the fucking
Yeah,
show.
and he got an absolute cracker. I mean, even now in our last trip before close when we took Banksy, we weren't getting many on lures and we resorted to bait and we absolutely smashed it.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, right time, right place. Yeah, we're going to go to it. We're going to go to bait. But he wrote in and he was just asking about a few tips or a few things that we do for bait fishing.
Oh, yep. And this brings back some memories. We've got some good tips here.
Bloody oath. So my rig for bait fishing, or my two rigs that I go to for bait fishing in the river, is I tie generally a paternoster rig. Mm-hmm. So if you don't know what a paternoster rig, generally tie a sinker on the end. You come up a foot or two and you tie a loop in the line. So you pretty much grab the line, both sides of the line, make a loop, wrap around your finger twice, run the loop through those two rings, pull him tight, and it's going to leave a loop in your line. And then you feed that loop through your hook, over the barb, and back up the shank, and it's going to hold that hook in place.
That's right, yeah. So that is a good way of fishing, especially if you're fishing current.
Yes.
So what that
great
allows-
for current. Gets the bait off the floor, gets it flapping in the current.
Just gets a bit of movement in it. Yep. Yeah. So and obviously cod, they will eat off the bottom. There's no doubt about that.
No.
But they are a top water feeder.
Yep, their eyes are on the top of their head. They're always going to look up.
So if you have your bait off the bottom a foot and a half, and you got a fish cruising along the bottom, he's going to see that a lot easier than what's on the bottom.
Yep, 100%.
So that was bang on, Dane.
Yep, so that's number one technique for me. Second technique, total opposite way. Have a running sinker. Generally go a bean sinker, like a high flow river sinker, and then a hook on the end of that. Mm-hmm. So that's where it's just going to lay flat on the bottom, and those fish are going to come up to it.
Yep, another great point.
Yep.
Bean sinker over a ball, and ball is just going to roll, obviously.
Yep. So
When you bean, they kind of bury themselves down a bit.
yeah, and that's probably the other tip involved in there is I'll always use beans. I don't use balls that often unless I have to, but bean sinkers are definitely the way to go, especially in a river and current.
That's right.
Yeah. Now,
And the areas.
well, let's talk about sinker and hook selection. So for me, I use a size 4 bean.
Yeah, 3 or
that-
4 is pretty common for the river.
3-4 bean sinker. If it's really heavy flow, maybe go a little step up further.
Yeah.
And hooks, I like go big, go home. I like go 7-0 and bigger.
Yeah. So
Circle hooks, I generally go circles, especially with bait. They're less likely to get it lodged in their gullets, more likely to get that the jaw or lip hook up.
yeah.
The other type of hook that I do like to use is I think it's a size 8 octopus hook. They're not too bad either
Yeah.
for that sort of stuff.
Yeah. So like, I'm in the same boat. Anything less than 5.0, I'm 5.0 and above.
Yep.
Main reason is because when you do bait fish and you're catching fish on smaller hooks, there's more chance of them swallowing it.
That's right.
Yes, you can cut them off and they swim away, but yeah, there's not a great survival rate there
Yeah.
either. So your bigger hook, they don't get it down their gullet. You always seem to strike them in the mouth.
Yeah.
And especially with circle hooks. Circle hooks have been a big thing the last probably
Yeah,
5 to
for
10
sure.
years. Really come in the market because they work.
Yeah, that's right. They work. They don't hurt the fish. And actually, going back to our last Sunday trip, one of the fish that I caught, he was probably a mid-50s, low 60s sort of size.
Oh, yeah, well, yep.
And he had a hook hanging out of his bum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he had the eyelet and the shank hanging out of his bum. And I went, oh, crap, righto. So I thought it was going to be stuck in there, but luckily it wasn't. He had a bit of damage to him. He did have a little bit of damage. It looked like it had been there for quite a while. But I grabbed the shank and just gently eased it out, and it came out.
Yep.
There was a bit of pus and a little bit of blood, but nothing that I was worried about. It was a little bit inflamed, but after that, swam off, happy as Larry. So obviously he'd been feeding, and he was ready to feed again. He took a lure with a hook hanging out of his bum.
Yep.
So just goes to show you that if you do hook them in the gullet, or if they do swallow the hook, you are probably better or you're better off to cut the line than you are to try and pull it out.
Oh, exactly
Because
right.
they can pass
you're
them.
gonna
They definitely can pass them.
Yeah, 100%. Yep.
Yep. And
It won't-
I have no doubt in my mind that hook out came out pretty easily. I have no doubt in my mind that in a week or two you'd probably pass it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And
We-
fish do have a pretty good ability to throw shit up as well.
Yeah, they're good at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they can reverse that hook,
Yeah.
they'll get it out for sure.
Yeah. So we've talked about our tackle that we use. What about bait, mate? What sort of bait are you using?
Bait, I love, generic yabbies, but in all honesty, my favourite is probably chicken.
Yep. Breast chicken.
Absolutely love chicken.
Yep. Love chicken.
Yeah. What doesn't eat chicken on this fucking planet? Oh, I swear to God, chicken. I'd hate to be a chicken because everything eats you. But yes, no, so you can buy obviously your strips, your stir fry strips and stuff.
Yeah, they work pretty good.
That's an easy way of getting out of it. Now, I've found that if you buy breasts or thighs, cut them in like really wide strips but thin. Gives it a really big profile. And normally I cut them, say, roughly 5 to 6 inches long. They are a big bait. But,
Yeah.
mate, you'll
big
still
bait, big fish.
you still get 30 centimetre fish eat that. No worries at all.
100%.
Yeah,
Like people
so-
even think about the hook size that we select. Oh, that's a big hook. Okay, think about a 30 centimetre cod's mouth.
Exactly right.
That can fit almost a full breast of chicken in it.
Yeah, and they're gutsers. Like, they're
Yeah.
not going to be shy.
Nah, they'll
At
eat
all.
something half their size. So
And if you've got a big bait, there's more chance of you going to entice that big one that swims fast.
that's right. Elephants do eat peanuts, but every now and then they need a good chew as well.
Yeah. What's your preference in bait?
To be honest, mate, I'm still chicken and cheese. The old
Yep.
chicken and cheese combo. Yabbies are still good. And if you're out there and you're not just targeting cod or you're not just targeting natives, go worms, go yabbies, go. So worm and yabbies, for me, you'll catch everything.
Yeah.
Everything will eat those from your eeltail, catfish, carp, yellers, cod. Everything in the river will eat your yabbies and worm.
Yeah. If I'm after all species, I love shrimp.
Yeah. And here's another little secret bait that I've used before, which is absolutely dynamite.
Frankfurt's.
No,
Oh, really?
popcorn chicken.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've had a session on popcorn chicken.
Popcorn
haven't you?
chicken works, and it works unreal. It'll catch everything because you've got the dough on the outside that the carp love. You've got I suppose you've got the fats and stuff, and that sort of stuff going to spread into the water. And you've got the chicken, which everything else loves.
I couldn't bring myself to put popcorn chicken on pork. I'll be sitting there munging on myself, eh?
Yeah. And the other thing, bloody, what are they called? Wicked wings.
Oh, yeah.
If you can bury a hook into the knuckle of that wicked wing and it's solid, it's a good bait. It's a real good bait.
Yeah, so chicken definitely ticks a lot of boxes for us, obviously.
And there's a lot of people that use secret recipes with chicken, like that flavour.
Oh, yeah, you get the Link. We've had him on the body. He's mad on his
Oriental
homebrew.
Express bloody flavouring, whatever it is.
Yeah, exactly right.
So mess around with it. Like I know people use garlic, they use wasabi, aniseed oil, soy sauce, fish sauce, oyster sauce, anything you can get your hands on. And from my experience, it's not the longer you soak it either. Like some people prepare it a day earlier. I reckon you can just do it in the boat before you set out and you're still pretty good.
Yeah, it don't take much for garlic to stink something out.
No, that's right. And you look at your scents and that sort of stuff now that you put on your lures. They're all garlic flavoured or prawn or whatever.
But, yeah.
So that's our preference in baits. I like a big bit of bait, sort of 60 mil long, 10 mil wide, 20 mil wide sort of size. Perfect.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And then going to the areas you want to look for, that's
probably the biggest thing. Like, you're not going to catch fish where there ain't fish.
No, that's right. So pretty much when you're looking at a river, when you walk down, you're going to see the main flow of the river in the guts. Now, we call them back eddies. Well, most people will call them back eddies.
You're going to see them, they're going to be swirling around. There's going to be shit caught in them.
Now, not that you want to be – I don't like to be directly in the back eddy at all. So you'll see the faint line. It'll be where the current's roaring and where it's still in the back eddy. If you can land your bait and fish just the side of that current, 9 times out of 10 you'll have fish that if they're swimming in the current, they go in that back eddy just to have a rest. If there's a feed there, they're going to eat it. Yeah.
Well, the other thing is everything that comes down that river that's light enough is probably going to get sucked into that back eddy.
Exactly right. It's like bait. It's a congregation of bait. Like exactly like we're chasing marlin.
Yeah,
congregation of bait off the shelf.
Yeah, that's right. You try and find where the undercurrents are going and where they're hitting to do a back eddy.
Yep.
And that's where stuff's going to congregate.
Yeah.
So you find those places where there's a bit of a swirl or a bit of an upheaval in the water where it's going to stay still, and that's where stuff's going to get trapped.
Yeah. And timber's key here. Timber is
definitely key.
Timber, like any logs laying down, they're the ones that create the back eddy.
Yep.
And obviously fish, that's their home. They don't want to go forever to find a feed. If you're near snags, you've got a nice back eddy, not stupidly shallow, you're pretty much on the money.
You're probably going to be in for a good time.
Yeah. But then in saying that, it nearly goes in complete reverse when the river's down low and it's still. You look for flowing water.
Yes, look for flowing water, and the reason for that is oxygenation.
Exactly.
Fish are looking to rush that water over their gills.
Yeah.
And keep
it gives them a reason to move around. So you start chasing your flowing water, which might be you might be casting out a little deeper. You might be finding a log that's very spindly and it's allowing the water to rush through it, that type of stuff. So, when the river's flowing, back eddies, side of it, whatnot, when the river's low, find your flowing water. That's going to help.
If you can find a place, especially when it's low and with the flowing water, that you can stick a bait in and hold it there, because most of the time if you're fishing 90 degrees to the water, you chuck in flowing, what's your bait going to do? It's going to skittle right down the bank and then wash in hard to it.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you can find a place that you can put a rod in that's going like facing the same way as the flowing water on snags, you're in.
Exactly.
Yeah. So they're probably the places where you like to target. And just like lure fishing, a lot of people, I reckon some people stay too long in a certain place with bait fishing.
Oh, 100%, mate. When you move, you cover water exactly like you would do with lures.
Just like lure fishing, you want to cover water. I see some people and they stay in the same place all day long. They're there for God knows how many hours, and they're like, catch anything, mate? Nah, mate, didn't get anything this time. Like, all right, oh, well, better luck next time. But really, you need to move. If you're not catching fish in an area within half hour, an hour,
Oh, yeah, well,
shit.
so like me and Dana got this thing, right? So if you sit in a spot and we call it 2 beer, not here. So you have 2 beers, it's time to move. So, yeah, second beer's up. Yep, 2 beer, not here. Let's go.
Let's roll.
And normally that you might catch 4 or 5 real quick ones, but then you're going to get the real cold spot where you're just not going to get nothing.
Yeah, that's right. And we generally find we'll pull up to a spot. It'll be 10, 15 minutes, and then you start thinking about it, and then you'll probably get a couple in succession, and then there'll be a long pause after those couple in succession, and that's when you're like thinking about going again, leave it another 15 minutes. Pretty much 2 beers.
2 beer, not here. Let's go. Speaking of beer, I need to drain the main vein, son.
That's all right, mate. We'll give him a pause. Yeah, so that's the main basis for all your bank fishing. Probably one last little special mention is that when you are bank fishing or bait fishing, keep hold of your rod.
Yeah.
Put in a holder. Put your foot on it. Something.
Yeah, 100%.
Because there's that many people I've known that have lost a rod because they haven't been watching, and that fish has taken off with it, just like as in the boat.
Yep.
Lost a rod off the side. Yeah, hold on to your rods, boys. Otherwise, you'll lose them to a big one and you won't forgive yourself. I mean, we've found rods in the river.
Oh, yeah.
Heaps of rods in the river.
Plenty. I actually found one a couple of weeks ago, remember?
That's right. Abu Garcia Max.
Yeah, I don't know. Veritas combo or some shit.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So just make sure. Hold on to them. Righto. Well, that's pretty much sums up this Christmas special. But before we go, we do want to make one special mention about this time of the year. Now, as everyone knows, we're huge advocates of mental health, and we want to spread the love, make sure everyone knows that you can talk about it, you can come out with it, it's something that we're trying to tackle.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, there's a few things about the Christmas period, especially for mental health.
Yeah.
I've got a few little facts in front of me here about it. So 54% of people get worried about their mental health or someone they know at Christmas time. 26% of people say that Christmas makes their mental health worse. 83% of people around Christmas report feeling lonely. 81% find Christmas stressful. And 47% are worried about getting into debt over Christmas. So just make sure your mental health is a priority this Christmas,
Yeah.
because it's something that is being talked about a bit more now, but has not been for a lot of years. And
Exactly.
people suffer in silence over it.
And use this time, like you're with your family, you're with your friends.
Well, most people at least, yeah.
Yeah. Like you open up to the people if you're struggling. Like we've spoke about this countless of times, and we're going to
Yep.
talk about it more.
Yeah, all the time we're going to talk about this. I can even think about going back a couple of years. I had a friend from overseas that was in Australia for Christmas.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things you don't really think of. Hey, mate, what are you doing for Christmas? He's like, actually nothing. I haven't got anyone here. He's like, shit, you don't think about that. He hasn't got
No,
anyone
you
here.
don't. There's
And it's
plenty
like,
of
mate,
people-
do you want to come out? We have more than enough food and more than enough beer. And that made his Christmas. I remember him coming back and thanking me. He's like, mate, thank you so much for inviting me around.
Yeah.
But, like, your family is so nice and thanks so much for having me here. So that would have made him, rather than sitting by himself in his little rental and
Exactly. Yeah.
just stirring on it. So think about the people around you as well. If there's someone that you can help out over this Christmas, do it. It's as long as it's not going to hurt you or them. No harm, no foul.
Exactly right.
Yeah. So along with that, I've done a little bit of research lately about fishing and the mental health attributes that it has.
This is very interesting.
Super interesting. So over in the UK, they've actually done a study or a survey about mental health and fishing. So in 2022, Tackling Minds teamed up with Angling Direct and Adlinka Ruskin's University, Professor Lee Smith, to research the relationship between recreational fishing and the mental health in a sample of UK adults. The results of the study are now published and have firmly established the links between fishing and improved mental and physical health. So of the UK adults that have been surveyed, the study found that of those people who said they participated in recreational fishing, significantly fewer stated that they suffered from an anxiety disorder. 16.5% versus 26.4% of people who don't fish. Those who fish had fewer attempted suicides, 7.5%, over those who didn't, 13.2%. And importantly, those who fish engaged in less deliberate self-harm, 10.4% versus 20.6%, when compared to those that do not fish. According to the study, the two primary motivators for fishing are the challenges of fishing and relaxation. Lee Smith, professor of the public health at Anglia Ruskin University, commented, "This would suggest that encouraging participation in fishing could be a good dual method strategy for both promoting relaxation and good mental health, as well as encouraging increased levels of physical activity within those with mental health issues such as anxiety disorder." So straight off the bat from reading that, just let me know that fishing can't be that bad for you.
No, yeah, obviously it's a lot better for the head.
Yeah. And they talk about, you got to get out and see your bluescapes and your greenscapes. So get out in your nature.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Like,
They know that people who live by the ocean or near the ocean are more relaxed because they're near a big blue thing.
yeah. Yeah. I know for sure, like, mate, you leave the boat ramp or you push the boat off a trailer.
Yeah.
And it's just like a blanket. Like it just gets put up around you.
Yep.
The only thing you think of is fishing, where your next spot is.
Yeah.
Make sure the beers are cold. And like it's a blanket. And then it's amazing how you get back into that car, you get home, you unpack, and then reality hits again.
Yep, it does. It is a blanket. It helps you out though.
That's exactly right. It shows you the pretty much, as cheesy as it is, the brighter side.
Yeah,
like
it does. I think it also allows you to reflect on stuff. Like for me personally, I overthink stuff all the time.
Oh yeah, I'm an overthinker as well, mate.
Yep, you sit down and just something drills over in your head over and over and over, and you convince yourself of something.
Yeah,
absolutely convince yourself of something, whether it be, this mate hasn't talked to me for this long and I don't think he wants to hang out anymore, doesn't go fishing, or, this person said this to me this one day and I didn't really fucking do this and that. And then you go fishing and you're like, hey, come on, think
there's
about
a different
it
way to this.
Yeah, there's a different way to this. You can't be thinking like this all the time. Go talk to them.
Yeah.
It's as easy as a conversation and gets stuff off your chest, stuff off out there.
Yeah.
So I think fishing is definitely something that helps relieve all your mental stress at least.
Yeah. And speaking of that, real quick, I'll touch base on one of Australia's icons, once again, of the fishing world, Rex Hunt.
Oi, Rex.
Oh, Rexy.
I would almost say that Rex is probably the person that got me into fishing from such a young age.
Sunday mornings at 6:30 in the morning, mate.
Let's go.
Every day of the week.
Yibba, that's all, folks. Mate, my mum and dad still say that to this day, that was my TV show during the week. Yeah.
And it's amazing how it's stuck with you, like the yibbity, that's all, folks.
And kiss and fish. I've never done it personally, but...
Oh, I've done it heaps, mate. Yeah, he broke me there. But Yeah, it's really good. Like, obviously, Rex Hunt was a big scene for me and Dane and a lot of other people that
Yeah.
he fished, he enjoyed life, and he had fun. And he was obviously an AFL player, and for Richmond, I think it was, give or take. But, he's a big part of Australia as well. So,
A big part of the Australian fishing scene, to be honest.
amen.
Yeah. And what you see on TV isn't always how people are. Like that's it's for TV, it's for entertainment. And people suffer just as much behind the scenes, even if they are a big AFL and fishing star.
Yeah.
That's what this article Az is about to read out is about.
Yeah, that's right. Like, old Rex, he's 74 years old, by the way.
Yeah.
And look, it is sad he's not doing too well. But hopefully he gets all his health sorted out and it comes good, and hopefully he wets a few more lines before
Yeah. for
it
sure.
comes. So I'll pretty much read out a little bit of this. It's a bit hit and miss, so bear with me. So this is from his mouth. So, mental illness is a nasty word for some, but until it happens to you, I had no idea the ups and downs your mind goes through when you are suffering with what I'm suffering. I thought that was really good wording.
Big words.
His mental health started to decline. Now, this is crazy. 7 years ago,
Yeah.
he became hooked on painkillers to try and avoid the head noise.
Yeah.
He's now off them, which is good, but it leaves his brain on a different level where it's not a big thing, but it also is a big thing affecting not him, but everyone around him.
Yeah, and
So
that's the big
he's
thing.
admitted this.
Yeah, that's a big thing a lot of people don't realise. Your mental health and the way you portray yourself affects a lot of people around you as well,
Exactly right.
which some people try and hide, and they hide very well.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
But
This is more of his words as well. If I can help somebody to understand that you can be what is normal or quite normal in your particular mind, and the next moment you are in a straitjacket down in a facility is two different worlds.
yeah, that's big, isn't it?
So he explains, and he's got a bit of evidence here. It's a chemical imbalance in the brain, and is also diagnosed as bipolar depression or high highs and low lows. So he struggled with this. Now, what he's said in this article is it turned him, this is back in January this year, he pulled over on the side of the road, called one of his best mates, had a meltdown on the phone for 45 minutes, and which saved his life.
Yep. Speaking out.
Exactly right. It was a drive down to Phillip Island. He started to ring everybody, but ended up talking to his mate Eddie. He was feeling sorry for himself, and that when he found himself 6 weeks in the facility, he eventually got his mind straight.
Yep.
Hunt said his family has grown apart in the recent times and he wasn't close to his adult children at the moment. I hold myself truly responsible for what had happened, but it is a very private thing between Leanne, his wife, and I, but we are working on it, he told the podcast.
Yeah.
My children certainly aren't close. The whole family has busted up, simple as that. It's very, very sad, but things happen, he said. Mental health is a big factor, and I would change it for anything.
Yeah.
So,
Big, strong words, and to come out and be public like that,
yeah.
he's a strong person for doing that. Very much so.
And that's a fella that's, fished his whole life. He's got to the age where it is on the back end of his life, and, mate, what a life he's had too.
Mate, unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal.
It's just, it's sad. It is sad.
It is sad, but it's something that needs to be brought to the public light, and everyone needs to know that it's not just you, it's not just me, it's not just someone you know. Everyone needs to look after themselves and their health, and talk to your family. Talk to people about it. Don't just bottle it up and push people away.
Exactly what Rex has said. It caused his family to break up.
That's right. And Rex Hunt has a very famous quote about this that me and Az have found.
It's hard.
It hits very hard. And what it says is, all I can say to the kids is, if you have a problem in fishing or in life, if you talk to an older person, you're going to end up all right. Because 9 times out of 10, they've been through the same thing.
Bang.
Bang. That's how it is.
It is.
It's ain't weak to speak. So, on that note,
We wish you a very Merry Christmas.
yep.
From the CodTales boys, that
Yep.
is.
I hope you
Have
have
fun. Be safe. For God's sake, drink some, but don't be stupid.
And more importantly, catch some fish.
Yeah, so get into them. And we'll definitely hear from you in the new year. Have an absolute blinder of a break. And
Yep.
hopefully you've got some stories, and I guarantee we got something to yarn about when we get back.
For sure. Eat too much and feel sorry for yourself on the couch on Christmas Day and have a good nap like I do.
That's it. Well, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for 2023, the kickoff of cod season. We'll see you all next year, bright and early. Let's do it.
Let's go.